First at 4, courtroom drama. District Attorney Fani Willis and Nathan Wade testify. Hear how they describe their relationship as a judge is set to decide whether or not to disqualify Willis from the 2020 election interference case.
And after 4 students were shot in an Atlanta high school yesterday, I just spoke with students and the principal to see what's being done to help make students feel safe.
Plus, sunshine temperatures in the upper 60s right now, but a pattern change is coming. I'll tell you when we'll see much colder air moving back into North Georgia.
And a temporary red alert just moved off to the right, 85 northbound before Highway 317, but a long line of traffic as you roll up into Suwanee.
11 Alive News at 4 p.m. starts now.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome to 11 Alive News at 4 o'clock. I'm Faith Jesse.
And I'm Jonathan Martin. Right now, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is on the stand in court testifying about her relationship with Nathan Wade, a special prosecutor hired to handle the election interference case against former President Donald Trump. This is a part of a hearing where Trump and 8 of his co-defendants are pushing to remove Willis from the case they are alleging misconduct. 11 Alive's Grace King has been there today. She's live from the Fulton County Courthouse. So, Grace, we've heard hours of testimony so far. We know the testimony is still going on, but walk us through the highlights so far.
Well, the highlights certainly include hearing from District Attorney Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade themselves about the details of their relationship. Take a look at this video as both sides were debating whether Fani Willis should be compelled to testify. Fani Willis herself walked in the courtroom and said she wanted to. She asked for 3 documents and then started pushing back on questions from the defense attorneys.
So after that, you started dating shortly thereafter, correct?
A lie. That's one of your lies.
Okay.
Now, I asked legal experts where this case could go from here and whether it's likely Willis could be disqualified. Emory Law School professor John Acevedo tells me he thinks it'll be a tough decision for Judge Scott McAfee and that it could come down to a lack of consistency rather than their relationship.
I think the real issue will become if they lied to the court. If the lie to the court can be proven, we're much more likely to see them disqualified than if this is just a relationship that is ongoing. Because again, there doesn't seem to be a clear conflict there.
Now, in the last 15 minutes or so, Judge Scott McAfee called a break because things were getting so heated between DA Willis and the defense attorneys. When they came back, he asked everyone to basically take a deep breath and start answering those questions so they can get through the rest of this hearing.
Grace King, live for us. Thanks so much. We have been following this case very closely, and thousands of you have been watching it as well. If you would like to watch the live proceedings, we are streaming it right now on 11 Alive Plus, our streaming app. Just search 11 Alive on your streaming device, and it will be on the front page of the app. Now, former President Donald Trump wasn't here in Fulton County in the courtroom today, but in another courtroom nearly 900 miles away. This was in New York in reference to the alleged hush money payments made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels related to his alleged affair with her. Today, a judge ruled jury selection for the former president's trial will start on March 25th. The judge denied Trump's motion to dismiss the charges against him in the criminal hush money case and then set the trial date. So this means it'll come as Trump continues to campaign for the GOP presidential nomination. Now, ahead of the hearing, the former president once again maintained his innocence.
So it's a very unfair situation. They want to keep me nice and busy so I can't campaign so hard. But maybe we won't have to campaign so hard because the other side is incompetent.
So the so-called hush money trial is expected to last about 6 weeks.
Well, we know that 3 people were detained after a shooting outside an Atlanta high school yesterday afternoon. That shooting left 4 people injured. 11 Alive's Molly Oak is joining us live outside of Benjamin E. Mays High School. So, Molly, you just spoke with students at the school. How are they feeling today?
Well, Faith, students told me they were shocked when they found out what happened yesterday, and they say while they feel safe here at Mays, things definitely felt a little different walking through the hallways, knowing what happened yesterday afternoon. Now, I want you to take a look at this video we have from the scene yesterday. Police say there was a fight in the parking lot around 4 p.m. An officer with Atlanta Public Schools Police was with the students when all of a sudden shots were fired. Police say 4 male students, 3 17-year-olds and an 18-year-old, were injured and hospitalized, but are all expected to be okay. Today, along with extra police on campus, the school says it had more than 20 grief counselors for students. Now students want to know, how is this going to get fixed?
everybody has done everything that they could do, you know. Maybe just a little bit more, like, what can we do more? How can we make sure that this doesn't happen again? There's a town hall coming up, so just making sure that these conversations are talked about and this is not just swept under the rug.
Last night, Atlanta police told us they detained 3 different people, all inside a vehicle they found not far from campus. Those 3 people were one man, a 17-year-old girl, and the 17-year-old girl's mother. Now, police say they took them back to headquarters for questioning. I asked police today if those 3 are still in police custody or if anyone else is in custody or if they've made any arrests. They wouldn't give us those details. They just said this is still an active investigation, and if anyone has any information, to give them a call. Back to you guys.
Sunshine. It has been plentiful today. A few high-level clouds starting to build in, but once again, we soared into the 60s this afternoon. Currently 68 degrees in Atlanta. West winds are 8 miles per hour. Humidity is low. It is a beautiful start to your Thursday evening. 66 in Duluth, Rome, and 68 right now in Thomaston. So we are very close to 70 degrees outside. And mild weather sticks around again tomorrow, but then this is the change coming that brings a big difference for your weekend. Few showers move in ahead of a cold front tomorrow night, and behind it, a huge drop in the temperatures coming by Saturday morning. This evening, though, really nice outside. Clouds will start to increase, so slower cool down with our temperatures. We'll be in the 50s through the evening hours tomorrow morning, waking up cloudy but dry. Crash coming up. We'll talk about the shower chances and how cold it's going to feel outside on your day on Saturday coming up in just a bit.
Well, we're definitely not looking forward to the cold, but, you know, as long as that sunshine sticks around. Hey, we're glad this didn't stick around right here. That was a temporary red alert on 85. This was northbound just before you get to Highway 317. So as folks were making their way up 85, it was all hands on deck. We were jammed solid back to 316. The good news is you are seeing some movement, so hang in there if that's your port of call. Don't think you need to worry too much about taking any kind of an alternate, although you are seeing some of those brake lights still back to 316. Speaking of brake lights, standard stuff on 75, 485 from the perimeter up to the northern burbs, and hopefully we'll get this thing back to full speed in no time. Faith?
All right, Crash, thank you so much. Well, right now, DeKalb County police are investigating after a teenager was found shot to death this morning.
This all happened in a wooded area near Stone Mountain. 11 Alive's Tracy A. McPeer joining us live from the DeKalb County Police Department with what we know tonight about the investigation. Tracy.
Well, in just the last 2 hours, I spoke with the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office, and they tell me the person killed was 17-year-old James Smith. Now, the DeKalb County Police, right before 9:30 this morning, came to this wooded area in the 1000 block of North Hairston Road near Stone Mountain, where they confirm they found Smith's body, shot to death in the wood line. We spoke with a neighbor who's nearby, and she says gun violence in her community needs to stop.
It's too close to home. And if people just put the guns down, then make this world a better world to live in. You know? Over senseless stuff. And that's a shame. That's sad. You know? They're not living to have families and children and living like our age, you know what I'm saying? Because the kids is leaving before us. We burying our kids before we can, you know what I'm saying?
Now, keep in mind, this is the second teenager found shot to death in DeKalb County in just the past day. Last night, officers found the body of a 19-year-old man near Stonecrest. Now, if you have any information on either of these 2 shootings, please reach out to DeKalb County Police. Back to you.
Tracy A. McPeer, thanks so much. And news can always happen in an instant. And when it does, make sure you are connected with the 11 Alive News app. If you don't have it, it's as easy as scanning the QR code right on your screen.
Well, a one-stop shop for workers and businesses in Cobb County, $2.8 million in federal funds being used to build a new Cobb Works Workforce Development Center in Mapleton. So U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff was joined by U.S. Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, Wally Adeyemo, and Cobb County leaders to announce this new center. So it will include a co-working space, a computer lab for small businesses, as well as job seekers. There will also be free assistance for people looking for jobs, professional development workshops, literacy services, as well as many more services there. So Senator Ossoff says the center will be key to building Georgia's workforce as more businesses move to the state.
All of this depends upon having a skilled workforce and empowering workers here in Cobb and across the state to take advantage of these new career opportunities.
Cobb County leaders say they hope to have the center open by the summer.
Well, 24 hours after a mass shooting during the Kansas City Chiefs victory parade, we are learning some new details about the moments leading up to the shooting.
Brave spring training is underway. We are live from Florida to bring you inside the clubhouse as to what the guys are thinking after day one.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on trouble up on 85 northbound near Highway 317, but a live look shows an already very crowded downtown drive. 11 Alive News at 4 is coming right back.
Hey, welcome back. We're taking a live look right now via EarthCam at Union Station in Kansas City. This is where the shock of yesterday's mass shooting is still very raw for those in that area. The shooting claiming the life of a popular DJ, injuring more than 20 others. And tonight, we do know some of the reasons behind this attack. Here's Ron Jones with the details.
And Faith, unfortunately, half of those people, half of those victims there are children under the age of 16. And investigators say this shooting was motivated because of a dispute between several people, including juveniles. So investigators say it appears to be no connection at all to a terror attack or any hate groups. Right now, 3 people are locked up behind bars, 2 of them juveniles. Police officers are now asking anyone with video evidence to please come forward. And this latest shooting is bringing a lot of attention right here in Georgia to more than 24 gun bills being considered by our state lawmakers under the Gold Dome. So coming up later on, we're going to be looking at if those bills have a chance to become law. At least 9 firefighters hurt after a truck powered by natural gas explodes in Los Angeles. This is a suburb there. That truck had 2 100-gallon tanks of natural gas. While crews were fighting the fire, one of those tanks then exploded, destroying the truck and injuring nearby firefighters. The cause of that fire is not yet known. Well, the early morning skies lit up really bright today over Central Florida on a voyage more than 50 years in the making.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go SpaceX.
There it goes, with the Intuitive Machines lander launching from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. It comes just one day after a technical glitch postponed the first launch attempt. It's going to be the first American spacecraft to land softly on the moon's surface since Apollo 17 moon landing back in 1972. I think I was 14 years old at the time. So if all goes well, the lander will also touch down near the moon's south pole on February 22nd.
All right, Ron, thanks so much. You know, one of the true signs of spring, the return of baseball, and fans of baseball get excited when they hear that pitchers and catchers are reporting to spring training. Our Maria Martin is at Cool Today Park in North Point, Florida. And Maria, I know the Braves are pretty clear right now about their big goals this season.
Hey, Jonathan, yeah, and Cool Today Park is the spot for the beginning of baseball season. You can feel the excitement in the air, and pitchers and catchers completed their first workout. It was such a beautiful day for that to happen. Now, the guys did get to the ballpark yesterday. It was report day yesterday. And A.J. Minter, who's a very familiar face to Braves country, he's been around for the last 6 straight division titles. He set the tone. He said this season is World Series or bust. And once again, this team surpassed 100 wins last year, but another early postseason exit just as they did in 2022. Obviously has the guys wanting a little bit more. And of course, when you're talking about Major League Baseball, all 30 clubs have aspirations of winning it all, right? But this team is vocalizing the expectation not only that they have for themselves, but what they have for this season. General Manager Alex Anthopoulos, he spoke with us this morning, and although he had no groundbreaking news to share with us, he did focus on the fact that this team doesn't need a whole lot of outside motivation. They already have it.
Speeches don't motivate players. Motivated players make great teams. And that just tells me these guys are really driven. They're really motivated. When I see comments like that, however these guys want to view it, whatever they use as fuel is great.
That's the confidence that I like. I mean, that's great. I think that's like a starting point of verbalizing our goals right there. You know, that's really what every team's trying to do. I think, you know, there are different talent levels and you know, kind of statuses of each team, of course, with 30 teams in the league. But you know, we're not going to shy away from what we're trying to do here. We want to achieve the absolute best possible outcome.
You don't even really have to ask about the club's desire to win. It kind of just comes up naturally. You just heard Spencer Strider talking. He said that it's literally all he's thought about since they lost in Philadelphia. How can they take the next step this year and make things better? And what's really unique about this club is that a lot of the core guys have been together and they will be together for quite some time. But remember, there are a couple of new faces walking around the ballpark. And yes, that includes 7-time All-Star pitcher Chris Sale. He was out there hyping the guys up. It was cool to see them get those first looks at Chris Sale. We're going to be talking about him at 5 o'clock.
And Maria, you're down there at spring training. We've also got the home opener at Georgia Tech happening tomorrow for their baseball season. Looking live right there, Russ Chandler Stadium. You can see the blue skies in the background, and it is baseball weather outside. We're at 68 in Atlanta right now. Also 68 along I-20 from Lithonia over to Covington. Lawrenceville is 66 and 68 right now in Douglasville. Gorgeous start to your Thursday evening, but we are getting ready for a change. This spring-like weather only lasts for one more day. Tomorrow's high is 66, but then we get a cold front coming through. And look at what that does to our high temperatures. It drops our high from Friday to Saturday by nearly 20 degrees. And Sunday will be chilly as well with highs just in the 50s. So we've got colder air coming in right along this cold front. Ahead of it, there's going to be a few showers that push through North Georgia. A lot of this happens while you're asleep Friday night, and that cold air settles in and sticks around for our weekend. Let's talk a little bit more about this hour by hour here. Starting off with your forecast for this evening. We've got temperatures that are in the 60s right now, and after the sun sets, more of those clouds will start to build in. And then tomorrow, when you wake up, the clouds are here, and they're here to stay. You notice here tomorrow morning, we're starting off much milder. We're going to be in the 40s to right around 50 degrees. Clouds are with us from start to finish, but there's not a lot of green on this map for much of the day tomorrow. That's because we're going to stay dry until we get into Friday night across North Georgia. So it's a cloudy but mild day. As we get into Friday night, a couple of those showers will start to move in from Tennessee, and they are, as quickly as they move in, they're moving out of here. You notice here on the forecast track, this is first thing Saturday morning. That's 2 a.m., 5:30 in the morning. Showers are just about out of here. And then for the day on Saturday, you just notice a huge difference in the temperatures outside. Those temps will be falling as we head throughout the morning hours, and they will really struggle to recover in the afternoon with highs likely stuck in the mid-40s for much of the area. So not only is Saturday going to be colder outside, it's also going to be breezy, so that will add to that kind of wind chill effect. For a lot of us during the day on Saturday, it'll feel like it is in the 30s and low 40s as we head into the afternoon. And that's about where our lows end up for tonight. So it's going to be a mild night with increasing clouds. Not starting off as cold tomorrow morning as where we have been. Tomorrow afternoon, cloudy skies, but we're going to be in the mid-60s. Rain showers hold off until we get into Friday night. And once they move through, the colder air follows. So over your weekend, a few morning showers possible before dawn on Saturday. Then we'll stay breezy and cold for the afternoon. And then for Sunday, cool but dry. Sunshine will make a comeback. Here's your 7-day forecast. It's pretty short-lived crash. We're back in the 60s starting Monday afternoon.
All right, we can handle it. We'll take the weekend, chill it up a little bit. Hey, right now, not a bad ride. We're still sweeping this one up. We got a couple of flatbed wreckers on the scene, so it should clear quickly. I'm talking about the wreck on 85. This is northbound before Highway 317. At one point, all lanes were blocked. We saw delays all the way back to 316. That's not the case. You're all right. Look at the downtown drive heading into Midtown. Already very slow along 85 and even 75, trying to make your way through that Grady curve. Going to stay heavy, of course. Northbounders slow as well. Both south and north pretty heavy. We'll give it a condition red on both sides of the connector and a live look right there at Midtown and I-85 as folks approach 17th Street. A pretty heavy jam already. Jonathan?
Crash, we appreciate it. The issue of gun legislation is back front and center under the Gold Dome. We are live at the Capitol with where a handful of bills are now sitting and if they have any chance of becoming law.
Plus, a Super Bowl halftime show, a new album, and a nationwide tour isn't enough for Usher. What his next big project is and how Atlanta will play a starring role. You're watching 11 Alive News at 4.
Okay, well, the hits just keep on coming for Usher. The 8-time Grammy winner is launching a new project with the A now playing a starring role. Usher is now developing a drama television series which will use his music to help with the storylines. So the Untitled drama will be set here in Atlanta and will explore those aspects of a relationship which can tear them apart, perhaps. While too early to confirm, there's also a possibility that the artist Usher himself could appear on the show. For now, Usher will be preparing for his big upcoming tour, which now includes a 6th Atlanta date. He will kick off his Past, Present, Future tour on Wednesday, August 14th at State Farm Arena. All right, now to another big star, Jennifer Lopez. Her first studio LP in 10 years drops this Friday, but there's now a hint that this could be her last. The album, called This Is Me Now, is a sequel to her 2002 album, This Is Me Then, which featured the hits Jenny from the Block and All I Have. So during a recent interview with Entertainment Tonight, she mentioned, quote, "This might be my last album ever." Earlier today, J-Lo announced tour dates to promote the album, and she'll be here in Atlanta on August 25th at State Farm Arena. And she has a ton of fans. I mean, anytime you have a J-Lo concert, I mean, whatever you want to say about her music, like, she has tons of fans.
Had a big Super Bowl commercial with her love interest.
Do you think she's stepping back so she can further his musical career? After what we saw?
You know, maybe. That was one of the best Super Bowl commercials. I got to give it that.
That was a good one. Well, you never know when these artists say, hey, it's my last tour, but I wouldn't miss this one just in case. I mean, obviously it's special.
It's J-Lo, yeah.
All right, nothing too crazy out there on the rush hour, but I do want to give folks a little bit of a heads up. I'm going to show you the top end perimeter. This is 285 westbound, rolling through Sandy Springs. Yeah, it's crowded, but I've got some breaking news about a paving project that was supposed to start this weekend. Melissa?
And it's been a lovely stretch. Temperatures are in the upper 60s right now. Warm weather sticks around one more day, but I'm tracking this cold front that brings a winter-like chill back to the area this weekend. We'll talk about that next at 4:30. First, at 4 o'clock, we're talking about temperatures in the 60s for just one day longer. Rain, colder weather. I'll break that down for you coming up.
Here at the Capitol, we have counted more than 30 gun bills that have been introduced in the two-year legislative session. Want to guess how many of them have passed?
Plus, a date has been set to decide if Gwinnett County will get a new city on its map.
And our coverage of Black History Month continues tonight by sharing how Black innovation and creativity are becoming the heartbeat of Atlanta.
We would like to welcome you back here to 11 Alive News at 4. I'm Jonathan Martin.
And I'm Faith Jassy. So right now, a hearing is underway to determine whether District Attorney Fani Willis will stay on the election interference case against former President Donald Trump. Let's take a live look inside the courtroom right now. You see District Attorney Fani Willis there. She's currently being questioned by Steve Sadow. That is the attorney representing former President Donald Trump. This hearing is focusing on whether Willis's relationship with prosecutor Nathan Wade poses any conflict of interest. Willis testifying this afternoon and asked about cash payments she allegedly made to Wade to reimburse him for vacations that he booked for the two of them.
I'm not going to allow you to mischaracterize my testimony. I know that I keep money in my house. The amounts of money I gave Mr. Wade, it was never that serious. I don't think I've ever handed him more than $2,500 in a reimbursement.
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Ms. Willis? Mr. Sadow, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes. Be back in 5.
A fiery testimony there. You heard Ashley Merchant asking her questions. She is representing Michael Roman. The two brought these allegations in the first place. Wade also testified today, as well as Willis's former friend who allegedly had firsthand knowledge of their relationship. We've been following this case very closely. If you want to watch these live proceedings, we're streaming them right now on 11 Alive Plus. That's our streaming app. Just search for 11 Alive on your streaming device, and it will be on the front page of the app. Well, all new at 4 o'clock, gun violence at schools or elsewhere hasn't moved Georgia lawmakers to pass most of the 30-plus gun bills that are pending this legislative session.
11 Alive's Doug Richards is live at the Capitol with more on why this is the case. Doug.
Well, you know, it's kind of become an unstated law of physics here at the Capitol that any bill that is introduced by a Democrat that has gun restrictions in it drops pretty much straight into a vortex that goes to oblivion.
These are difficult times. I've never seen them quite like this.
Democrat Al Williams says he is among the many gun owners who live in his South Georgia House district. He has supported bills to restrict gun access. The Republican majority in the legislature has mostly ignored those bills.
I don't subscribe to when you're old enough to hold up a gun, you should be able to buy one or get one as a present. A common sense ways. Guns do kill, in spite of what folks say. They do kill.
Yet the Georgia legislature has broadened rather than restricted gun access. In 2022, eliminating the requirement for a permit in order to carry a gun in public. This year, Republican leaders have mostly ignored the 30 or so gun bills introduced mostly by Democrats during the current two-year session. Republican Emory Donahue says folks in his district don't want firearms restricted.
We all believe by the Constitution our God-given right for the Second Right Amendment as a law-abiding citizen to bear arms. That means to bear arms to protect your family or to hunt.
Republicans in the Senate did pass a bill that would create a tax holiday for the purchase of gun lockboxes. Democrats generally favor that. However, this bill also included a tax holiday for the purchase of ammunition and firearms. It passed over the objection of Democrats. We are live at the Capitol. Back to you.
And at 4:33 outside right now, we're watching some of the clouds starting to increase ahead of our next rain chance. You see some of those clouds looking west from our live camera indicator. But despite that slight little increase in those upper level clouds, it is warm outside. 68 in Atlanta right now. West winds are 8 miles per hour. You can see on our satellite and radar loop, we've got a couple of those clouds streaming right through the heart of the I-20 corridor here in Atlanta. But by tomorrow at this time, we're tracking our next incoming cold front. This is going to bring us a few showers tomorrow night. But the bigger story with this front is the change in temperatures. It's in the 60s right now. By Saturday afternoon, it will not feel like it is above the low 40s in Atlanta. Temperature outside right now, 68 in Atlanta, 66 in Duluth, and we've also got those upper 60s in Thomaston. Clouds are going to keep increasing this evening. Crash will be in the 50s as we look towards 9 o'clock tonight. We'll talk about rain chances hour by hour and look closer at that cold for the weekend coming up.
That's all good. By 9 o'clock, I'll be sound asleep. All right, this weekend, we were anticipating a massive construction project across the top end perimeter. We're talking about milling and paving. However, GDOT's going to put that on hold. Now, here's what I'm talking about. 285 east and westbound between Ashford, Dunwoody, and Roswell Road. They're going to do weekend closures, 9 o'clock at night till 5 o'clock in the morning. This is going to start with the outside and inside shoulders, so expect some lane closures. The only problem is they're going to delay it until next weekend. So put that in the back of your mind if you travel across that top end perimeter. This is going to be out there when they start it next weekend, several months. We'll certainly keep you posted live on air and at 11alive.com. Jonathan?
And we appreciate it, Crash. Thanks. Breaking right now, crews are working to repair a water main break here in Smyrna. This is video from our 11 Alive Sky Tracker right over Ridge Road. Now, the road is currently shut down in the area. It's Atlanta Road here. It's unclear exactly how this happened, but we're told drivers should avoid that area for now. All new at 4, more jobs are coming here to Georgia as Governor Brian Kemp announces solar is expanding here in the state. Solar Cycle is coming to Polk County. The new solar panel glass plant will bring at least 600 jobs to that area. The company will be the first of its kind in the country to use recycled materials from retired solar panels to make new solar glass. Construction is set to start later this year.
Well, still ahead here, good food, plenty of wildlife, and even a few laughs are in store for Atlanta this weekend. We'll get you set up for fun events that you don't want to miss with our Weekend Watch.
Also, as change is being made for Georgia State football. Coming up next, what's behind Sean Elliott leaving the Panthers fresh off a bowl win. Well, another team here in Atlanta will have to go through a coaching search as Georgia State head coach Sean Elliott resigned Thursday.
Here's Reggie Chapman with more.
Yeah, during an offseason full of coaching moves, Sean Elliott adds to the list and will be headed back to South Carolina to be their next tight ends coach and run game coordinator. Before coming to Atlanta, Elliott was with the Gamecocks in various roles for 7 seasons. He then coached the Panthers to 5 winning seasons and 4 bowl victories in 7 years. This move a shock considering he opened up spring practice with his team on Tuesday.
I told those guys out there, you know, it's not about wanting to play the game of football. I think we all want to play the game of football. Everybody on that team wants to be the starter, but it's a need for them. You know, when it becomes a need, it becomes truly important. It's something different than than wearing the jersey and going through the motions, and that's what we got to find.
Georgia State's athletic director Charlie Cobb says spring football practice and the spring game have been postponed. We'll have you covered on their search for Elliott's replacement as things develop.
All right, Reggie, thank you so much. Okay, coming up here, Black Innovation has launched a movement not only for Black ownership, but creativity and ideas to grow. So coming up, we'll spotlight a few innovators making a difference here in Atlanta.
We came in just shy of 70 degrees outside Atlanta today. That warm weather does not last much longer. Cold comes back for the weekend. We'll talk about that chill and the rain showers that come with it next on 11 Alive News.
Well, from Atlanta's booming entertainment industry to the city's reputation as the music capital of the South, Atlanta is known for its creative energy.
But that can't be mentioned without acknowledging the influence and impact of Black creativity. Well, tonight, our Naima Abdullahi shows us how that leads to innovations that can shape the culture and also move the needle.
Meet 4 Black creatives in 4 different lanes of creativity. Brian Michael Cox, Grammy Award-winning producer and songwriter at the top of his game and still giving out free game for the next generation of hit makers.
Push the boundaries, learn everything. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to learn everything.
Ray Daniels, music executive veteran and culture referee, facilitating necessary conversations on his platform.
Black people start all the trends. All the trends are started by Black people.
Marina Sky, award-winning creative director and designer.
Black is bold. We have historically had to be bold just throughout, and I think that there is a spirit in all of us that just continues on.
And Keith Dorsey, brand manager and founder of Collab Studio ATL, helping content creators generate revenue online.
We did everything on our own. We're really writing history.
What all 4 have in common is promoting Black creativity unapologetically.
I really just think it's the driving force in general. I think that Atlanta does not get enough credit for being such a powerhouse in the driving force of creativity in general. And I think that we're finally in a space where people are paying attention.
Marina Sky graduated from Clark Atlanta University and worked on the design layout of the Trap Music Museum and has worked with artists like 21 Savage, and the list goes on.
I am the evolution of my mother and my grandmother and my great-grandmother and all of these beautiful women and people in general that are behind me, pushing me forward to succeed.
Brian Michael Cox says the magic is woven within our soul.
Describe Black creativity.
Black creativity to me is something that's deeply rooted in where we come from. I feel like you can trace our creativity all the way back to the continent, you know what I mean?
His catalog of hit records is a result of a feeling he believed in, something he hopes others don't lose sight of.
For you, when did that light bulb go off that this is what you wanted to do?
That light bulb went off very early. As a little kid, you know what I mean? I always knew that I wanted to do something creative.
He says part of the craft process is to remain humble, but never forget who you are.
I can only attribute that to God. If somebody say a higher power or whatever, but for me it's God, right? When you are literally born to do something, you know what I mean? I don't know nothing else but this.
Ray Daniels says the Black excellence in this city is an inspiration.
Because music told our stories. When James Brown said, "Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud," white audience sung it, but Black people knew it was for us. And seeing white people call this Black man Mr. Brown and his name on the back of a jet, that makes me think I can have it.
He says no matter the specific lane of Black creativity, whether it's music, media, or the arts, creativity can be a liberation for a generation that needs it.
I love the freedom we have here to be Black and powerful and not have to code switch and talk another way for another race so they can accept us. We don't have to do that here.
Do we know how powerful we are, though?
No, and I think that that's my goal. That's why I support you, because, representation is necessary.
Keith Dorsey says the playing field isn't leveled for Black creatives. He says they often don't receive the credit for their original work.
We film 10 videos a day. Because Black creatives did not have that knowledge to You know, especially when it comes to standard business, because from where I'm coming from, we didn't teach us business in school. Our families did not own businesses.
He says breaking barriers comes with becoming more knowledgeable about your craft.
No matter what direction our lives take us, we are just bold.
I would implore artists to not ever be satisfied. Like, if you want to be great.
So we're not that far removed from being oppressed, and we still here, we are still winning. And I think that our success in today's America is a testament for our talent.
And as the saying goes, Atlanta influences everything, and those are just some of the people who continue to innovate and influence.
And I love that one line, liberation through creativity. We see it throughout Atlanta and throughout the world so much, so we want to keep it coming. So 11 Alive will share more of Atlanta's stories surrounding Black History Month. Naima, who you just heard from right there, she is serving as our host for Dream and Disrupt, Black Atlanta's Bold Movement. The special airs tomorrow at 8 p.m. right here on 11 Alive.
It's been nice to have so warm of temperatures around for several days this week, but that is going to be coming to an end for the weekend. I'm tracking a cold front that's going to be sliding into North Georgia tomorrow night, and behind that, it brings kind of a winter-like chill back to our area temporarily for Saturday and Sunday. Outside right now, nothing short of spectacular, though, and very spring-like outside. We actually hit 69 today in the climate report that just came out a few minutes ago. It's currently 68 in Atlanta. Marietta is 67, 66 in Chamblee, and 67 right now in Fayetteville. So it's a really nice evening outside, but there is that change coming, and it's knocking on our door. Tomorrow, we have one more day. We're going to be in the 60s, but then that front arrives. Look at the average high. It's 58 degrees, so we're above average significantly through tomorrow. But behind the cold front, those highs will drop below average by about 10 degrees for Saturday. We're going to be stuck in the 40s during the day, and then for Sunday, low and mid 50s are expected. So big change coming. What we're not going to see a huge deal in the way of for this time around with this cold front is a lot of rain. We'll have a few showers moving through, but a lot of this happens while you're asleep. So clouds will be increasing this evening and overnight, and that's going to hold temperatures tomorrow morning a little bit milder than where we have been the last several days. We'll start off in the bus stop in the morning. Those of you not on winter break will be in the mid-40s first thing on your Friday. Clouds are going to thicken up throughout the day tomorrow, so it's a cloudy and mild day, but we will stay dry for the morning and the afternoon. But as we push that forecast track out into the evening, you'll start to notice by 11 o'clock at night, few showers moving in towards northwest Georgia. We'll track those through for the overnight. It's scattered in nature, light in nature. Not everybody sees the rain, and it's moving pretty quickly. So by Saturday morning, there's just a couple of lingering showers south and east of Atlanta. They are out of here pretty quickly, and then gusty northwest winds drive in that drop in the temperature, drop in humidity for your Saturday and Sunday. Forecast lows tonight with increasing clouds. We're going to drop down to the mid-40s here in Atlanta, low 40s in the outlying suburbs, and we'll have a few spots in the upper 30s in the North Georgia mountains. Cloudy tomorrow. Cloudies will not mean cold, though, this time around. We're going to start off in the 40s in the morning. By lunchtime, we're up to 61. We'll top out about 66. But by Saturday morning, the feels-like temperatures will have dropped to the 20s and 30s. And then Saturday afternoon with breezy winds, despite the return of dry weather, it's going to feel like it's in the 30s and low 40s across North Georgia. So a much colder feeling over the weekend. Highs on Saturday, 40s. 50s on the way for Sunday. We'll have a cold start around the freezing mark in the morning, but lighter winds and dry weather with sunshine for the afternoon. So not a bad weekend, just a cold weekend, okay? Here's your 7-day forecast. 66 tomorrow, cloudy skies, few showers Friday night, Saturday morning, and then chilly air through Sunday, warming right back up to the 60s starting Monday afternoon. Crash?
All right, Melissa, appreciate that. Yeah, these nicer temps, and of course, no rain has helped us. We're still a little on the sluggish side, though, trying to get our way up towards Suwanee. The wreck still sits off to the right, 85 northbound before Highway 317, but no need to panic. You don't need to jump for an alternate. Definitely a full house as folks make their way up 75 northbound from McDonough into Stockbridge. And of course, that downtown drive, very heavy on the connector starting on 75 and 85, getting through Midtown all the way down to the Grady Curve. Going to be condition red on both north and south, making your way through the city. That is a very crowded Grady Curve. Jonathan?
It is, Crash. Thanks so much. So it's Thursday, meaning we are almost there to the weekend, and there are a lot of events happening around the Atlanta area. area.
So you guys know what time it is. It is time for your weekend watch. So starting with this, comedian Kevin Hart. He is in the A this weekend. His stand-up tour called Brand New Material has stops at Coca-Cola Roxy at the Battery on Friday and Sunday nights. If you're interested in last-minute tickets, you can find them right now on Ticketmaster.
And a fun way to celebrate Black History Month, a Taste of Black Gwinnett is happening Friday at the Norcross Cultural Arts Center. The event features Black-owned businesses there in Gwinnett County with food samplings, products, and services, and businesses serving the Black community in Gwinnett. That is happening from 6 until 9 on Friday.
Looks so good, too. And if you love art, here's a new exhibit taking flight in the A. The Balloon Museum is heading to Pullman Yards this weekend with their Let's Fly exhibit. These are inflatable installations. They have traveled from Paris to London to New York, and now they are here in the best city in the world, Atlanta. Tickets start at $29. The exhibit runs until April 14th.
All right, and here is your chance to see animals at Zoo Atlanta after hours. The first of several Twilight treks is happening on Friday night. Visitors will use night vision technology to search for animals that you would not normally see during the daylight hours. This costs $27 per person.
Well, for more details on these events, just text Weekend Watch to the number on your screen. We will send you a link with all the information straight to your phone.
All right, well, the state of Alaska is known for snow, cold, and wildlife, but it is also now linked to a new virus that's now making headlines. We're verifying the claim next on 11 Alive News at 4. Well, right now, headlines are warning about a new virus called Alaska Pox. Our Brandon Lewis verifies whether it's even a real disease.
Have you seen posts on social about a new virus called Alaska Pox that recently killed a man? Those posts are confusing some people online, with some wondering if it's even a real virus. So let's verify. Our sources are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Alaska Department of Health. The CDC says Alaska Pox is a real virus, but it isn't new. The Alaska Department of Health recorded the first known case in humans in 2015. Alaska Pox is making headlines now because a senior with pre-existing health conditions recently became its first known fatality. Since 2015, there have been 6 additional cases, all in Alaska. The virus is similar to smallpox. It causes skin lesions and muscle aches, and symptoms usually resolve on their own. Health officials believe Alaska Pox is spread to humans by rodents, but it may also be spread by other mammals that spend time outdoors, like cats and dogs. There are no documented cases of humans passing it on to other humans. So, yes, Alaska Pox is a real virus, but with only 7 known cases, it's considered a rare virus. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
And as always, if you see a claim online that you would like us to verify, just send us an email. You can also text the word verify to the number on your screen, 404-885-7600. Coming up next on 11 Alive News at 5, Atlanta police now teaming up with Hyundai to prevent car thefts in the city. How you can make sure your car will not be taken.
Plus, a big day in court as a Fulton County judge hears motions to disqualify DA Fonnie Willis from the 2020 election interference case. Next on 11 Alive News at 5.